Just going back to what you were talking about, the front three earlier on about Sarr, João Pedro and Dennis. I mean, I think one's gone, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Dennis.
And the other two, they've been linked to, one's Newcastle, Pedro, and the other one's...
The best thing for Watford is that maybe that's Isak, then maybe Pedro stays.
But here's the thing, how on earth can Watford allow that to happen?
What, like,
To
sell
three
them?
big names. I think when you've got the prize at the end of that rainbow for them is, of course, Premier League football.
This is the problem with having a team like Newcastle who have just got unlimited funds to go and splash about. They just make bids for absolutely everybody, and it ruins teams. It does. So it will ruin Watford because it will have turned the heads. It will have turned João Pedro's head. It will have turned Ismail Sarr's head for Aston Villa. And they'll want to get the move. They'll want to get a move straight back to a Premier League club. Their wages will go up, all that kind of stuff. Established Premier League teams as well. It's a genuine problem for the smaller teams when this massive monster of a team with unlimited funds comes knocking.
We mentioned Sarr, he's been linked to Villa, right? Listeners, there's no name on this, has contacted us. Wanting to know from you, you touched on it ever so briefly, how good a player is he? Would he easily fit into the Premier League? He's asking if he'd fit into Palace's side.
Oh, easily. He would fit into...
Oh, okay. That's nice then.
That's Benty, by the way, guys. Is
Do you know what? That's probably my KSI won't follow him, right? Clumsy.
Mum got to stop me on my wire. What move?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good.
No, he would easily fit into... Like I say, even if he was at one of the big boys, right? If his head is on it and he's fully fit and he's flying and he's not worrying about any potential hamstring injuries or something like that, because he has had a few hamstring injuries, he is top notch. I mean, top notch. He is double rapid, and his balls into the box, his delivery, he can finish. He's got it all, honestly.
Yeah, you enjoy your time at Watford?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, was there a club? You'd have to tell me. Was there a club you didn't enjoy your time? You couldn't wait to get out the door?
No, I wouldn't. I've never not fully enjoyed it. I think my time at Man United was probably the time when I didn't enjoy football the most. But I'd say that's not necessarily the club. I'd say that was just what I was at that time in my life. I wasn't ready to be at a club like Man United.
Do you know what's crazy though? As a professional footballer, you have times in your career where it is tough. Like for me, Tottenham was tough, Fulham was tough. But then when you look back and you think what he was doing every day for a living as a job, how can I ever say?
No, I disagree with that.
No,
because that is your job, and if it doesn't matter what you do, if you're not happy, you're not happy.
When you sit here now and you look back to, obviously you see them going out training, you look at pre-season, because I used to hate pre-season, but when you look at them and you think, okay, it's just, for me, it was the best job in the world.
See, I don't think like that, Benty. I'm the opposite. I see them coming back out for pre-season this summer. So, like, I haven't got a club yet, but I've watched them all come back for pre-season training. I'm thinking, poor buggers. Like, I'm having the time of my life.
Thank the Lord that's not me.
Yeah, thank the Lord that's not me, honestly. I think nowadays it's getting harder and harder to be a professional footballer, especially in the Premier League. The pressure, the access that everybody's got nowadays, everybody just wants a little piece of you, and people can't move nowadays. They can't.
Shall we, let's quickly go to the phone lines. Liam wants to ask you a question. Hello, Liam.
Evening, lads.
How are you?
Well, yourself?
I'm good, I'm very well. What would you like to ask Ben Foster?
Well, yourself or Darren was mentioning earlier whether he'd be number 3 in the Premier League or number 2 in the Championship. Us at West Brom, we cried out for Ben Foster to be number 1 in our goal.
Okay, so do you have a question for him, Liam?
Yeah, is it true what Twitter's saying that you've been offered a deal?
No, is that what Twitter says? No, don't believe a word you read on Twitter, mate. Twitter's the worst.
But you're training with us, so why not?
No, do you know what? I again, even that, people think I've been training with West Brom for the last forever. How long? I went in one day and I trained with the youth team goalkeepers because Boaz Mael is the academy goalie coach. So I went in, trained for a day. Absolutely ruined my body. It did, honestly, because I hadn't played football for about 2 months, and I woke up the next day in absolute agony. Anyway, the next day, it was that night that I went and trained with West Brom. I fell off my son's scooter, bumped my head on the floor, was concussed for about 4 days, and that was it. That was the end of my my training with West Brom. So something like West Brom, I don't know, again, like I say, has to logistically work. Possibly, yeah, there's a possibility, but you've got 2 good goalkeepers there. You know, you've got David Button.
Listen, Button's not, but like, he's a good goalkeeper. He's not going to get us back into the Premier League. You between the sticks will be reaching Premier League.
Right, I'll disagree then. I like David Button. I like Alex Palmer beneath him as well. It's West Brom. Like I say, I'll always be a West Brom fan. My kids are West Brom fans, so it's a club I hold dearly to my heart anyway.
Okay, thank you for your call, Liam.